Jimmy is so nervous. He is so nervous. He's typing things. He's like, my hands are cold. I gotta warm them up. He's rubbing his hands together. The reason he's nervous is because Beco is so darn good, right? Jimmy Poopins has been the Ninja Gaiden 2 guy since forever, like 3-4 years or something. And Ninja Gaiden 2 is not one of those games that are off in the corner of speedrunning, and one guy plays it and he's got the record, and sure, maybe it's pretty good, but it's just one guy, right? But Ninja Gaiden 2 is not one of those games. It's had very, very, very strong runners put a lot of attention on it for a long time. And so when you have a record in a game like that, it's pretty serious. And Jimmy has managed to be head and shoulders above everyone else for a long, long time. But Beco really started to grind and started to catch up, and people were starting to be like, I think he can do it. And he eventually did for a little bit. And then Jimmy took it back, and then both were pushing towards this 10-minute time. Everyone loves to hit the milestone of 5 or 10 minutes or whatever. So Jimmy is the first one to get sub 10. Beco is half a second away from sub 10. But for now, these runners are just concerned about this one run. They're off now, starting off the first level. Ninja Gaiden 2 is a platformer where you jump and you slash. It's basically that. There's a lot of, you don't want to attack on the ground, so there's a lot of attacking as soon as you leave the ground or as soon as you land on the ground. Jimmy misses the damage boost here to get the ninja clone, and it looks like Beco has got it. So on my end, Beco's stream delay is a little greater, so they appear very close, but actually Beco is in the lead. I'm not sure if they're synced on the mainstream. I'm just going to continue to call it as I see it. Over here, they enter the first boss. They have their Nimpo, their clone, and their Art of the Fire Wheel. They're going to be using these slashes and Art of the Fire Wheel to deal a bunch of damage. Jimmy had a not quite as good of a kill. The boss managed to run over to the left side of the room, so he got lost about maybe half a second there, which is so minor. But between these two, even in a race, half seconds are going to add up. Unless, of course, someone dies. It is so easy to die in this game, and it can be so punishing. So both players are definitely going to be concerned about it. But I've been watching both of them play this game, and their ability to finish runs consistently under 11 minutes is kind of incredible. But I shouldn't be hyping up consistency, I think, because Jimmy's been playing Lawnmower and like some DDR or something. I think he's feeling unprepared for this run, but that was a really clean 2-1. Lots of really clever damage boosting here. The wind is going to be operating on cycles here. It's going to push the players just in time to cross this gap. They are using the slashes of the sword to buffer to get that timing exactly. And oh no, Beco a little bit shy here. I know I was wondering if this would happen. The wind is pushing against you as you make that jump. So I was just watching a tutorial for this game to prepare, and Jimmy says like, it's so easy to jump too early on that wall. So he's like, in races, he's like, I overshoot it a little bit just to make sure, and it's helped him. Absolutely, Beco made that mistake. It's allowed Jimmy to catch up a little bit. He's going to be the first one walking on the back of the ladder to climb up to the boss. Another very quick boss fight. Just throw Art of the Fire Wheel at him. As long as you've got the Nimbo, he dies before basically anything happens. Still an incredibly tight race. We got darkness. This level sucks, but thankfully speedrunners are able to find enough visual cues, right? The screen is mostly black, but there's all these power-up orbs everywhere, and thankfully they glow in the dark, so we can see them and use them as sort of guideposts to know when to jump over these gaps. These are not easy jumps. Some of these jumps are way too tight for a jump that you kind of have to do blind. Ooh, scary moment for Beco, able to recover after getting hit by the bat. If you miss a jump in this stage, there's a good chance you're just dead. So it is incredibly fortunate to have that happen in a place where Beco could recover, and then a huge amount of skill to actually capitalize on that recovery there. Trailing Jimmy just a little bit, but I think, again, with that stream delay, I think they might actually be damn near tied heading into 3-2 here. Nice shurikens climbing up the back of the wall to climb the back of the ladder there. They're using a technique here, the sort of sword climbing technique. This is while you're slashing the sword, you gain more backwards momentum. So jumping off the ladder, you kind of get back on the ladder sooner, and it lets you repeatedly do this little technique. You have to be so good at this in order to actually save time with it. If you're even just okay at it, you will probably lose time trying to do it. Jimmy gets the backup damage boost to get up here to the boss fight. Very nicely done. No, that was intended. That is another boss dead here, only vulnerable in the air. 2 cycles for both players. Extremely well done. That is not easy to do. Jimmy is in 4-1. Appears on my end to have the lead, but again, with stream delay, I'm pretty sure they're basically tied all the way through the first 3 stages. We got a tough stage coming up. I mean, all the stages are tough from here on out, but this one is, you need this invincible fire wheel power up here. It's going to let you plow through everything without having to take any sort of weird path. So you have to make sure that you get the ninpo to use it all the way through this stage, as well as make sure that you get it itself. Also, they want to grab a scroll there. You didn't see it because they pick it up immediately, but they've increased their max ninpo. That's important. For pretty obvious reasons. Ninpo is pretty powerful, as you can see here. Damage boost off the rocks at the end to get into the final door here of 4-1. Moving on to 4-2. Jimmy loves this section. It's like the most technical, most difficult, hardest, riskiest, most punishing section. And Jimmy said, I don't care what goes wrong today. I just want to hit 4-2. So good first screen here, setting up for a complicated series of damage boosts. That's 1. That's 2. Not done yet. Going down and then up again for 3. And not dying on the screen transition. Same with Beco, who actually got like the frame perfect screen transition at the bottom of the ladder. So risky. If you do not grab the ladder in time, you just die. So to come screaming in to the bottom of the screen like that, using those sword climbs to actually go like over the geometry in the level here. Fantastic 4-2s from both players. Most of the scary stuff is over. Jimmy is going to be getting into the boss fight, and now Beco. You've got a whole bunch of ninpo for this boss. So you just throw it at him and he dies. Really not too big a deal. At some point they used to use the windmill shuriken on this boss, but Art of the Fire Wheel really gets it done there. That was 4-2. Moving on to 5-1 here. It looks pretty similar to 4-2, but we get into the spiky section, moving left to unlock the screen so it scrolls to the right, and then using our sword climbing techniques to go over the wall. I cannot stress how difficult this stuff is, and they are just doing it. Both of them are just doing it. And if the streams are synced, then they should be doing it basically in lockstep with each other. This has been an incredible race. I'm glad I hacked it up because it is absolutely paying off. We are moving on to 5-2. It's ice, so you actually slide on it, and if you attack on the ground, you don't stop. You continue to slide while you slash. It gives this stage kind of a unique flow, so you could understand why it might be someone's favorite stage. The boss of 5-2 here is Ashtar, and the quick kill for Ashtar is notorious for being just like the hardest thing, the hardest thing ever. It's like a solid 2 seconds of incredibly precise inputs in order to kill the boss before he wastes like 5 seconds teleporting somewhere and then teleporting back. So for a long time, this trick was thought to be only tool assisted possible. And then someone did it as a human and everyone was like, wow, but you'll never do it in a run. And then someone did it in a run. And now it's become absolutely mandatory to get the world record. Let's see, Jimmy, 1 hit away. Beco missed a whole bunch actually. So, but both players are going to be basically tied here in terms of this boss, blasting him away as soon as he reappears.
Though, man. It's
crazy. It's crazy. This is why I got so excited when I found out this race was going to be in Awesome Games Done Quick 2020, because I knew the potential for this to happen. They're so good and they're so consistent. It's incredible. 6-1 has got some foreground objects here, but you know you have to rely on kind of some muscle memory a little bit. But that's what this game is. So both these players have muscle memory in spades here, and it's helping guide them through what would otherwise be a pretty difficult stage. Turns into kind of a bit of a break before we get into 7. 6-2 especially is just damage boost city here. You move at full speed while damage boosting, and you get invincibility frames and stuff. So as long as you've got the health, just take these hits, and you don't have to worry about any of this stuff. Moving on to the boss, another very quick boss fight here. We're going to take some movements to sort of sync up our clones to be all in good positions to damage the boss. Beco does this thing where he lines them all perfectly in sync on top of him, and it looks really cool. I like the way he does that, and it's let him, I think, maybe make up a bit of time on that boss fight, actually. Moving on to the final set of stages, 7-1 here, going over the top, and getting this section on the ladders is so tricky, but they both get it. Jimmy has to get this ladder here and climb back up, so Beco takes the lead late into the race here, but again, it's very close, and Beco misses the ladder, so now a little bit of time made up here. They're now synced on my end, so I think that means Beco has about a 2-second lead or so on stream. This is a crazy race still. Very nice job by Beco, and Jimmy losing a bit more time, and also having a bit of trouble with that backwards movement, you do not get full movement speed moving backwards on a jump. So that actually made him fall, had to recover again. So he is now maybe 10 seconds behind Beco very, very late into this race. 7-2 here. Beco is
That
on
is
a
such
tear.
a tough screen, man.
It's a tough game, but yes, that screen in particular is murder. And then they make it so much harder by going for the sword climbs over everything. Becca was not going to be going for any of the crazy jumps up to the next part of the ladder there, which is pretty understandable, I think, in a race. Jimmy is still pretty close behind, but he's running out of game with which to catch up here. He's going to need a pretty nasty mistake from Becco, who so far has been so solid. Jimmy's had like some really big swings, some really good stuff, some of the worst mistakes on his end, but Becco's mistakes have all been like pretty small. So I think that's the big reason why he's currently in the lead heading into the final boss sequence here. Losing a bit of time having to chase down phase 1. This is Jackio, I think. I don't know the boss names, unfortunately, but Jimmy is going to get... Oh, he went in deep for that last hit. He didn't quite get it, too. So that's phase 2 down for Becco. Moving on to the final boss fight here. Jimmy, one boss fight ahead, actually shooting Art of the Fire Wheel off screen to the left to wrap around. Final hits coming in on the boss now for Becco. He's got a bit more ninpo. His clones are in position to slash the boss. Look, it's so hard to dodge that Becco has one hit. He cannot get hit. Oh my god, he was so close to getting hit one more time on that boss fight. He's done. Jimmy's done. Incredible, incredible, incredible race from both players. Wow. Wow. I knew it could be this good. And I had hopes that it would be this good, and it was. I cannot. They're so good.
Incredible race from both Becco and Jimmy Poopins. My god.
This is what you are donating for when you donate to bring him over, right? Getting Becco onto that stage to do this against Jimmy Poopins, not only for all of us, but for, probably hundreds of people in the room and hundreds of thousands of people around the world live. If you want to see it, there's no better incentive than watching this race again. Incredible.